Welcome to the cockpit. My name's Ryan and I'll be your pilot tonight. Boys and girls, I apologize for the late delay. I was here on time for 8 o'clock. But I tried multi-streaming or simulcasting to Twitch, Facebook, and apparently YouTube was not wanting to take my settings correctly. So I know I was streaming to Twitch and Facebook. I removed that for tonight. So this show is exclusively on YouTube just for you guys, because I like you. Now, we got a lot to talk about. Patrick Mahomes getting a massive, massive contract. $500 million. What's Jamal going to want now? He's going to want $500 million. That's what it's going to be. 10 years. 10-year extension. $500 million. Damn! It is absolutely wild. Now remember, that contract is 2 years of his rookie deal plus the 10-year extension, so he's under contract for 12 years. Man, we're going to talk about all the good, the bad that could potentially be coming with that. I don't know the exact breakdown of the contract. I don't know if anyone does right now. I have not been browsing the internet. Oh, my co-star, Bali Jalapeno. Jalapeno is her middle name, so we call her Balapino for short. Hi, Bali. She's wearing her Jet jersey. Come here, Jet. Come here. You want to show it off? Negative. Not going to show it off. That's okay. It's all right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Oh, it looks like we got a Patriots fan there. Man, I'm so glad the Patriots fan turned on notifications. He is so happy to have the Jets Talk channel on right now. Thank you, Michael, TJ Decker, Multivols, Juan, Bruh, XRP, 2613 Mike. Ooh, I like that silver jet. That is nice. That's the first one I've seen. Very cool, guys. Charlie Gardner. As soon as I heard, instantly thought of Jamal. God. That's exactly what I was thinking with this whole Patrick Mahomes contract. What the hell is Jamal thinking? We also got to talk about Robby Anderson. Robby Anderson, for you guys that don't know, tweeted something along the lines of like, oh, Sam and I just never had a good connection. And then there was a bunch of Twitter clips of Sam missing Robby. And to that I say, who cares? It means absolutely nothing to me. I don't care what Robby says. Doesn't faze me whatsoever. Sam certainly missed some opportunities. But when you have the 32nd ranked offensive line and you have no time to throw, no time to step up into passes, I don't really mind that the deep threat connection was not there. So, we'll see how much Robby really likes Teddy Bridgewater's 5-yard outs. I love me some Teddy Bridgewater. But he not really known for the long game, per se. Yeah, so by and large, not upset with the whole Robby comments. I'm going to do... It says call-ins at 8:30. I guess we'll do call-ins at 8:30. We'll start at a normal time. I'll give you guys an extra 10 minutes at the end of this episode, because I saw you guys talking about it in there, saying that Ryan's not going to give us an extra 10 minutes because he came on late. Well, joke's on you. Going to do it anyway. Let's do this. Okay, so for the... Let's do a contest tonight. We're going to do a hat, shirt, or mug giveaway. Who was the player that just got a record-setting contract? Largest sports contract in the history of sports, to my knowledge. I'm pretty sure. Who is that? Answer that question down below in the description. There's a link to the Jets Discord. Click on the Jets Discord. Head down to the poll section. Just plug in your answer there. Who is the player that just got a record-setting contract? What is his name? That'll get you entered to win a hat, shirt, or mug from the Jets Talk store, and I will raffle that off at the end of the night. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And we'll open the phone lines at 8:30. My thought process on the Patrick Mahomes contract, I say good. This is a good thing for the league. It's a good thing for Patrick Mahomes. It's a good thing for the Chiefs. I would imagine the way this deal is structured is the first probably 3 years are going to take advantage of the fact that they have a really good roster right now. They're going to try and push for a few more Super Bowls, and Patrick Mahomes' cap hit's not going to be that big. I bet he got a pretty big signing bonus, so that'll get spread out over the course of the whole length of the contract. It's going to be awesome. I cannot wait to see what this contract is officially going to look like, but I do think that they're going to try and go all in on a Super Bowl these next few years. Now, remember, the next 2 years are still his rookie contract, so he's still getting hit for that. But I believe the signing bonus, I don't know if the signing bonus, does the signing bonus extend? Is it over the course of the 10-year extension, or is it over the course of the full 12 years since he just signed it now? That I'm not too sure of. I haven't really had too many minutes free to actually dive into that thought process. So if you guys do recognize that, throw that in the comments section. Jamal Adams. Oh wait, never mind. No, that's not the guy that got a record-setting contract. Oh, Jamal, poor Jamal, poor guy. What's he gonna do with all his money and his upsetness? He's gonna have to. I'm sure he likes the whole Patrick Mahomes contract. The whole thing of, oh, well, Mahomes hasn't even gotten his contract yet. Well, if Adams wants anything similar, not that he would get anything similar to Jamal or to Mahomes. I don't think any quarterback is going to get what Mahomes just got. I would bet, so they're going to be working on Dak's contract. I'm sure all the Giant fans and Eagles fans and Redskins fans are laughing hysterically at this because they don't care that Patrick Mahomes got all this money, but they know Dak's going to be asking for just as much money, or at least like, a certain, step below that maybe. Lamar Jackson isn't getting that money, says Jake Klein. Look, we don't know what Lamar Jackson's going to be in, another year, 2 years' time. He could, if he goes out and wins the Super Bowl, you better believe the dude's going to get a big contract. Guy's unreal right now. I don't think he's Patrick Mahomes good. I think he's incredible, though. So don't be shocked if he gets a massive contract extension, especially with the way he runs. He would be very smart to try and ink a deal now, even if it was for a little less money, just to secure his safety as a player. Just think, I'm pretty sure I saw a stat here. In the 2 years or the year and a half that he played, I think he's only slid twice, 2 times. Or maybe it was just last season. I saw that stat throw up somewhere, and I was like, what? That can't be true. D-Mac says he loves it. It sucks for the Cowboys. Absolutely. Trevor Lawrence will eventually get that much since Charlie. I don't know. You never know what these quarterbacks are going to be. Baker Mayfield was supposed to be really good. So was Jamarcus Russell and all these other, top-ranked quarterbacks. A lot of these guys never going to see that kind of money. This is an absolutely bonkers deal. And, hey, I'm all about it. I'm all about players getting paid. It's just that they have to earn it. Mahomes winning the Super Bowl clearly earned it. MVP honors last year, or 2 years ago, clearly earned it. Jamal Adams certainly, deserves a contract extension. I don't have a problem with him giving it to him. The money he wants and when he wants it right now is more the issue than anything else. So, whatever. Cam Newton greater than Brady, says bruh. Who knows? Maybe Belichick will work some magic and Cam Newton will stay healthy. That's really got to be the whole picture here. Cam has not been able to stay healthy. David says Madden curse is not broken yet. Trust me. I'm pretty sure the Madden curse was broken. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure whoever was on it last year broke it. Steven, with a name like Trevor, he's got to be a douchebag. Fun fact about Trevor Lawrence, one of the guys that used to work in the pro shop that I manage went to school and had a class with Trevor Lawrence, and he is not the sharpest tack. he's a great football player, but not the brightest bulb in the box, which, hey, it's all right. You don't have to be super smart if you are a generational type talent, as Charlie points out. John Snow says, don't forget about Ryan Leaf. Ooh, still one of the worst draft picks of all time. What do we got? Baker bust. Fig Newton's greater than Cam Newton. I would say they hold together better than Cam Newton. Cam Newton could possibly fall apart. More like a stale. Actually, I guess a stale Fig Newton would probably be pretty strong. Sam's grade were bad too. I did not know that. I did not have a pro shop attendant that went to USC. So there you go. He could be really dumb. Evan says, Darnold MVP 2021, Jets win Super Bowl 2022. Better believe it. Better believe it. Kevin says, Sammy D, monster year this year. That's what we're all looking for. I saw some statistics that I think it was Michael Nania brought up from Jets X Factor. So you guys know Robby Sabo and Joe Blewett both have been on this show. Michael Nania, that's the trifecta, the third piece that I have not had on the show yet. But he's really smart, and he's posted some great stuff about Sam Darnold and how good he actually is when he's protected. Because I saw some articles out there that are not too happy with Sam. I believe in Sam. If there is a season that happens this year, I got my fingers crossed. As we get closer, I kind of get a little more leery of it like actually happening. I don't know. Fingers crossed. But I believe Sam, with a much better offensive line, is going to produce far better than he has his first 2 years. Now, the big issue is going to be for the Jets. These guys have not played together. You're looking at our projected starting offensive line as probably Becton. We're going from left to right here. Becton, Lewis, McGovern, Van Roten, and Fant on the far side, which means 0 day one starters for last year would be starting for the Jets. And this is a year we may not have training camp, or at least very minimal training camp. It sounds like we're not going to have any preseason games. I know 2 preseason games got canceled already, I believe, or at least that's what it seems like have gotten kind of pushed aside. The NFLPA is saying we don't want to do any preseason games, and I really can't blame them. Honestly, the preseason games are really just a way for the owners to just get more money from the TV contracts. It's not, I don't think at this point in, football, the preseason is really doing too much from a grading perspective. I think you probably know outside of maybe 10 to 15 guys who's really making the roster. And to be honest, they could do away with it. And they don't have to force the season ticket holders to buy those damn games. When we used to own season tickets, Section 325 in the old Giant Stadium. That's what I'm talking about. Ah, there's that beautiful girl. That beautiful girl in the background. Oh, and there's Becca, too. Look at her go. She's adorable. Bolly. She was chilling before. She was sitting on the floor before. Yeah. It was pretty cool. Yeah, she was hanging out. She's chilling. Can I see her? I got to show off the jersey. We got her a jersey like a little while ago. She's getting so big. Check this out. Look, she's like a football player right there. That's how we do it. Let's see. What do you guys talk about in the chat? What are you drinking tonight, Ryan? Says Chloe1. I'm just drinking water tonight. Just have water. I might grab a beer a little bit later. We'll see how this conversation goes. Is Brian Winters ever going to get cut? Who knows? He's still under contract, but there's no timeline for when we actually need to cut him, so there's no rush to cut him either. Are you trying to talk into the microphone, Bali? Trying to? Bring your lady over, says Bills for Life. She's over. She's just doing something. All right, Bolly, you can go down there. Go play. Where'd it go? Stop with the excuses. Who are we talking about? There's a delay on this thing. Chipper says, nobody cares about the result of the team. All we care about is what Sam shows us. Agreed. I don't care. The Jets could go friggin' 0-16. If it looks like Sam Darnold's a franchise quarterback, granted, franchise quarterback wouldn't have you go that bad, but if Sam shows he's a franchise quarterback, season's a success. That's all I want to know. I want to know for beyond a shadow of a doubt this year that he's the franchise quarterback. I believe it. I felt like I firmly stand behind Sam. I think he is the guy. But you have guys and talking heads that really don't believe in him, which I don't think they watch football. If you don't believe in Sammy. Avery Prince. It's tough talking about the Jets. Love them like money, somewhat. But my team has to individually be on fire every week. Nobody should be able to hold us, nobody should be able to hold us on any down to win the Super Bowl. Look, I want to win a Super Bowl. I just want to get to the playoffs, though. We haven't been to the playoffs in a decade. Ugh. God, this has been rough. I was in college the last time we got into the playoffs. Statistics are showing he's good when he has more than 2.5 seconds to throw. I would hope any quarterback in the NFL should be good with 2.5 seconds to throw. That's a sugar ton of time for a quarterback. But yeah, seriously, it's been rough. That offensive line last year was terrible. Young Dez says, can Bryce Hall be another Darrelle Revis? Easy there. Darrelle Revis was a first-round pick. This guy was a fifth-round pick. I'm all about him. I like him a lot. I don't know. I don't know if he'll be that good. Joe S. says the guy had mono. What was Danny Dimes' excuse for turning the ball over every game? He's a rookie. Look, I'm not giving Danny Dimes any crap for how he performed last year because I think he played well. I think if you're a Giants fan, you're very happy with where your quarterback sits. And this is coming from a guy who really, really wanted the Giants to regret passing on Sam Darnold for Saquon Barkley. And at this point in time, I don't think I can say that beyond a shadow of a doubt. I think the Giants fans are pretty happy with Saquon until he starts looking for that contract. That's gonna be an interesting dilemma that the Giants have. But they're not paying anyone right now, so they should have plenty of money to really, extend him when that time comes. Look, would I take Danny Dimes over Sam Darnold? I don't think so. I think I like Sam. I think he's got that it factor. It's kind of goofy. There's no tangible evidence that I could really point to. It's more of an eye test. But Danny Dimes looks like he can sling the ball all over the place. And I do trust the Giants' ownership more than I trust the Jets' ownership at this point in time. I think that's fair to say. I think a lot of fans probably feel the same way. I don't know if I trust Gettleman, but it seems like he's putting together a halfway decent team. Jack Peters, we talking about Super Bowls? Sort of. NY Sports MC, Ryan, what do you think will be the biggest training camp battle? I'm hoping it's on the offensive line, to be honest. I want to see the best 5 out there. I don't care what positions they play. But from a camp battle perspective, I think I'm going to enjoy watching the edge rushers, so Zuninga and Huff and Jordan Jenkins. I think that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Assuming we can watch it. We don't even know if we're going to be able to watch it. It could be a whole training camp with no footage. That would be goofy as heck. Saquon is a good dude. He won't cause contract drama. D-Mac, I love you, dude. I hope not. I really like Saquon. He's probably one of my favorite players in the NFL right now. He just seems like a good guy. But I also thought Jamal was a good guy, but he was a diva. Who knows? We'll see. Oh, see, Charlie said the same thing. Charlie and D-Mac, we're having a conversation between the 3 of us right now. Joe S. just had to get rid of that nickname. Fair enough. Let's see. Yeah, we got 2 minutes, then we'll jump over to the phones here. I apologize. I definitely did not put up the exclusive number for you guys. I totally forgot to click on it. So we're going to go with just the regular phone number for tonight. Joe S. says the Giants have been worse than the Jets the past couple of years. Yeah, but they also made the playoffs way more recently than the Jets. I have zero mud to fling towards the Giants until the Jets start stepping up their game because we stink right now. Liam says Sammy Sticky Lips greater than Danny Dimes. Yes, 100% agree. Great nickname. Let's see. When will Jamal pop off about Mahomes' contract? Look, Jamal's got to know he's not getting Mahomes' money. It's just not happening. That is like silly money. That is, you need franchise quarterback money. Jamal's not going to see 1/5 of that contract. Jamal will not get a $100 million contract. Multiples. Who can we get as a pass rusher? I'm hoping it's on the. I hope they're on the roster already. Zuniga. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. And Huff are the 2 guys we're kind of looking at. Jordan Jenkins is on a 1-year contract. I don't really expect him to be back after this year, but I didn't really expect him to be back for this season. So there you go. Like this video just for the dogs, says Vertigo Flow. Yes, if you like Bali, Jalapeno, Delaney, wherever she is, she would like to see a like on this video. And if you guys want a chance to win a hat, shirt, or mug from the Jets Discord store, Jets Talk store, answer this question for me. Head down into the description down below. There's a link to the Jets Discord. Click on that and go to the poll section of the Jets Discord and answer this question. Who was the player that just got a massive contract extension today? Answer that and get yourself entered to win a hat, shirt, or mug from the Jets Talk store. So let's go over to the phones. Let me open up the Google Voice. I apologize. I did not have this prepped the way I probably should have. Boom. I think some of you guys wound up saving the phone number because I wound up getting phone calls before I even take the thing off the screen. So, well, bam! Phone number's on the screen, boys and girls. Let's go to the phones. Wow! Literally, just pop the phone number up. There you go. First caller of the day.
Call from Eli.
Hey, what's up, Eli? How you doing?
Hey, good. The first thing I want to say is I'm wearing the merch right now, and everyone out there who hasn't bought yet should buy some merch.
Oh, you're a good man. I like you. If you guys have not checked out the Jets Talk store, www.jetstalk.com. Got some pretty cool stuff on there. I got to get some Jamal Adams stuff, maybe a little shot in there, one way or the other. We'll see. I gotta sit down and iron some stuff out. So what's on your mind, Eli?
All right, so I just wanted to say about the Sam Darnold thing that you just said.
Sure.
I don't, but like the monster season thing, I don't need him to have a monster season, in my opinion. I need him to show enough growth where I can have confidence in him moving forward. Like at least like 25 touchdowns, something like that. Enough growth where I can have confidence. I don't need 30-plus touchdowns. I don't even need. I mean, I would like 4,000 yards, but I don't need 4,000 yards. If he just gets like 35, I'd be happy. I just want confidence that he's a franchise quarterback.
That's kind of where I've fallen as well. So over the last 2 years, just for reference sake, first year he was a 57, almost 58% completion percentage. Last year he jumped up to almost 62. He was 61.9. So we could stay around that 62 percentage, maybe get that up a little higher. That would be a great thing. He did get better in the touchdowns, did get better in interceptions, got a better quarterback rating, and had more yards. So last year, 3,000 yards, 19 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. So I'm saying, given the harder schedule, if we can get out of a full, I think he can get to 4,000 yards. If he plays 16 games, I think he's got the 4,000 yards. I really do. I think this offensive line is going to help him a ton. I don't think he's going to have to do as much because I think Bell's going to be able to run all over the place. But I'm going to say if we can get, say, let's say 63% completion percentage, so 1 percentage point higher, let's say 3,700 yards. Maybe not the 4,000, but 3,700 yards. I like the 25 touchdowns. I can get on board with that. If we can get 25 touchdowns and maybe keep that interception number about the same, maybe down to 10, I think I'd be very, very happy with Sam's season this year.
He's a gunslinger. He's always going to throw interceptions. I'm kind of willing to accept that. Even a season where he has low interceptions, it's going to be like 10. He's not Jameis Winston bad, but he's not like a Tom Brady who throws very low interceptions.
Yeah, I think he has always kind of struck me similar as a kind of a Big Ben, Tony Romo type quarterback where he's just sort of running around and freelancing. And because of that, you're going to get the weird, goofy turnovers like a weird fumble or an interception that might have you scratching your head. But then you're also going to get those plays that are like, oh, man, he is really good. So I'm all about it. I don't know. He doesn't have to have an all-star performance by any means. Doesn't have to make the Pro Bowl or anything like that. But a solid season. I do think he's going to have a good year this year. I think this offensive line is definitely going to help him out. I'm concerned about the lack of practice time they're really going to have.
Yeah, because they're going to have to kind of fit together. And the Pro Bowl is also a popularity contest. So, I mean...
Yeah, but we're also in the biggest city. So that's why Jamal has made it the last two. I mean, look, Jamal's a good player, but if we'd be lying if we said a very popular player, very vocal popular player on social media and everything, didn't have the benefit of getting blasted with New York City votes for safety. We have no one else on our team. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the Pro Bowl.
Yeah. I mean, it just lets them have more time to get injured.
Yeah, well, that's a big thing. I mean, it should be a vacation for the players. I'm all about, some type of fan-based award. I'm not huge on people using it as a measuring stick. I think you can use it to a certain extent, but I don't think it's the be-all, end-all.
All right, now I just wanted to ask you talk about the Mahomes contract quickly.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was a very stupid move by both parties.
You think so, really?
Yeah, because what if, on the Chiefs' end, what if Patrick Mahomes gets an injury, right? Like in football, you're one hit away from your career being ruined. Let's say within the next few years he gets injured. They're screwed for the next decade. I mean, they have absolutely...
From what I've heard, it's 145 or 150 million injury guarantee. So Mahomes is going to get that money at the very least if he gets injured. If I'm the Chiefs, here's my thought process. We waited our entire NFL career to have a Super Bowl, and I would gladly sacrifice my cap for the next 10 years if it meant we have another shot to get there again. Like that, like it would suck, and it would be like a worst-case scenario thing. But remember, there's not too many quarterbacks like Alex Smith that get like knocked out and really have career-threatening injuries. Like, who else has really had it? Teddy Bridgewater, I guess, would be the other one. But if I'm Mahomes, I like the contract because he can probably renegotiate it partway through the, like, probably 3-4 years in, I would think. And then it just locks him in, too. It's like, hey, you know what? Look, I want to win a Super Bowl. You guys want to win Super Bowls. We don't want to have this drama of this quarterback controversy, not quarterback controversy, but this quarterback contract looming over us. And you just kind of sign it and you forget about it. You don't have to worry about your quarterback for the next, 6, 7, 8, 9, potentially 12 years if this whole contract plays out. I don't think he's going to see the full, $500 million. But I like the contract for both sides. I really do.
But they need to pay you. They paid Tyreek Hill, so he's there for like 3 more years. Travis Kelce, I'm pretty sure. I don't think they need to pay him yet, but they're going to have to give him a big deal because he's been having really good seasons. And they also have to pay a few members of that offensive line, and they have to pay if they want to keep Chris Jones, right? And then
I would bet Chris Jones isn't going to play this year unless they work out a contract extension. If I were him, I would sit out. I mean, he's not under contract because he never signed his franchise tender. So he's not going to get penalized the same way Jamal's going to get penalized. With the Chiefs, you got to think whatever contract Mahomes just signed, they still have his rookie contract for the next 2 years. Now, I don't know if his signing bonus starts now or if it starts during the 10-year extension. I think it would start immediately. So we're going to have to see what his cap hits look like. But I would imagine they're going to try and keep his cap hits lower for these next 2 years to try and win a Super Bowl before too long, and then they'll pay him on the back end.
But I can understand that, but I feel like, yeah, yes. But and then from Patrick Mahomes' side, I feel like he's kind of locked in. What if something, I don't know, what if something happens per se? He has nowhere to go, nothing to do about it. He's there for the next decade.
I'll tell you what, they're going to pay me over $40 million a year. I don't care what I'm doing. You want to pay me $40 million a year? You want to pay me like pennies compared to that. I would be ecstatic. I don't think he's going to have too many worries. The dude's a god out there right now. Like, you brought that city a Super Bowl. If Sam Darnold brought New York City a Super Bowl and got the Jets a Super Bowl, look how much we idolize Joe Namath. Joe Namath won the Super Bowl like 50 years ago, and we still idolize the guy. Whoever wins the next one, forget it. You're going to be so popular.
I live in Kansas City. They idolize him like crazy.
Oh, dude, I would. I think he's one of the most fun players to watch. I really do enjoy watching him.
I know my friends like to make fun of me because I'm a Jets fan, and they're like, "Oh, we won the Super Bowl, haha."
No, I have zero hate towards the Chiefs and zero hate towards Patrick Mahomes. I was just happy not to see the Patriots in it. I don't care. Eli, I'm gonna eject you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and you've been ejected from the cockpit. Woo! I'm sure I'll talk to you again, Eli. Who we got?
Call from
Joe, what's up, dude? Welcome to the cockpit.
Hey, Ryan, how you doing? Long time.
Yeah, hanging in there. How you been?
All right. Well, let me talk to you about a couple of things. The Patrick Mahomes contract.
Yes.
I think it's good for him. Congratulations to him. But I don't know if it's a good deal for the Chiefs and especially the NFL.
Okay.
I mean, these athletes are already overpaid. Now they're going to be getting paid some superior money. I mean, could you imagine the next quarterback that wins 3 or 4 Super Bowls to be wanting $50 million a year?
Yeah, for sure. And look, hey, it's not like the owners don't have it. That's the thing here that people lose sight of is if they decided to go away from an uncapped sport, you would see these contracts go out of control. Like, that's a pretty ridiculous contract, but the owners have that money. They are multi-billionaires in other industries. They're not all, just owning this team. But I think the contract is going to screw a lot of other teams because, like the Cowboys, for instance, they got to pay Dak Prescott, and Dak's sitting on the franchise tag. Now, I guarantee if the Cowboys try to franchise tag him next year, you got to loop in the Patrick Mahomes contract. So if Patrick Mahomes is going to wind up being one of the top 5 quarterbacks or whatever, and that number is through the roof, which I don't know if it's going to be because of the whole rookie contract thing, but, I mean, you got to think Dallas is like cringing at the sight of this, and Eagles, Giants, and Redskins fans have got to be like laughing hysterically.
Yeah, they're going to be saying, "What do we do now? What are we going to have to pay Dak? Not as much as Patrick, but probably something that, just a little under that range." I mean,
Yeah,
but the thing that bothers me is with the owners. I can't believe, though, they all didn't get together and try to, try to stop these contracts, try to, I guess it's kind of like a fix in a sense, like they all get together and they say, you know what, we're not going to sign this free agent. You can have him.
Yeah.
But for this amount of money.
See, that's
what
that's.
I'm trying to say?
Oh, I understand it.
Trying to be in cahoots with one another.
Yeah, like they kind of did with. They did it with Kaepernick. Why couldn't they do it with the Mahomes contract, right? No,
I hate to say it. Let me tell you something, Brian. One thing about people that are rich.
Sure.
It's never enough money for them. They always want to make profit. Even though they got billions of dollars invested in whatever other, companies or hedge funds or whatever they do. But the reality is they always want to get their money. They always want to make their profit.
Sure.
And to me, as a businessman, no matter how much you make, of course you live a bigger lifestyle than the average person. To rich people like Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates, it's never enough.
Oh, yeah. No, those guys are insane. I don't even know if it's so much like a greed at that point as much it is just a pure drive. Like, I gotta keep getting more. It's like Pokemon. You gotta collect them all. They're trying to collect all the dollars, not even just because they want to be wealthy, just because like they're like addicted to it. That's almost what I get from it.
The bottom line I was trying to say basically about this overall contract, congratulations to Patrick Mahomes. I guess he deserves it. But for the Chiefs and the NFL, I think in the long term, I don't think it's good because I think it's going to get out of control like the way baseball did. And I think it's going to be hard for a lot of teams, as you said, the lower echelon teams, the teams that don't have the big media, like New York teams or California teams, they're going to be hurting because it's going to be hard for them to build a team if they have 3 stars that are all pros. They're all going to want to get paid.
Well, that's just it. The market's going to dictate exactly what's going to happen. So, like, if no one wants to pay Dak Prescott $40-50 million a year, then this guy is going to have to accept less money, and there could be a swing back. Now, if the quarterback play winds up becoming so easy out of college that you don't have to pay $40-50 million a year for a quarterback, you might see guys just draft a quarterback every 5 years, and that's sort of how you do it. Or you groom, you get one, then you groom one so he's on a cheap deal, and then you kind of, play that game. I don't necessarily agree with it. I think with how the quarterback contracts are going, I would almost prefer, I guess you can never do it, but I would almost prefer like a certain percentage of the cap has to be devoted to the, like it just is. Like, hey, no matter what the quarterback's getting paid, he's like 20% of your cap. Whatever it is, it's just, rookie contract, that there goes. Maybe we don't even include the quarterback contract in the cap. Like, lower the cap down to, whatever it's got to be, but then make it just the other players. I don't know. It's insane how the disparity between the quarterbacks and every other position is fascinating. There's no one even close. I mean, the next closest thing are going to be, I guess, pass rushers. They're like $21 million, I think, is what Aaron Donald's getting. Yeah. And then, I mean, you're talking most of these quarterbacks are all 30 plus.
Right now, man.
Oh man, when he's looking at that Mahomes deal, he's like, rats, but I still got my $100 million. Like, if you get $100 million, like, that's lifetime money. That's generation money. You don't have to do anything. Patrick Mahomes, what he just got, that is like, yo, put it in the bank, live on the interest forever. Just like, don't let your family live under it. Like, you're good.
Anyway, so let me just get to the last thing with Jamal Adams.
Sure.
I've talked about him a lot. Always a safety position I seem to talk about with you.
No, of course.
So, there's a twofold question. Where does this leave Jamal Adams now? Now that he's seeing that, Patrick Mahomes got paid, what does he think he's really worth now? And number two, the problem I have with Jamal Adams, I'm a big fan of his. I have his jersey and everything.
Sure.
I thought he was a team leader. And he still is somewhat, but he's a little bit of a diva. And I think that comes with, his age group. He's a little immature, but, he's still, somewhat of a leader. But I thought he was going to be a leader and just, eventually maybe somewhat play out his contract and not pull a Darrell Revis stunt.
Yeah.
This guy wants money like he's Sean Taylor.
Yeah, well, that's just it. It's like he's not... He's good. I think he's one of the top 3 safeties in the league.
He's not at that level.
No, he's not. Look, he's not at he's not at the Hall of Fame caliber level that you kind of perceive. And honestly, you look at the safeties getting paid around the league. I would bet the Washington Redskins are probably having buyer's remorse from paying Landon Collins as much as they are. The Bears, have they gotten their value out of Eddie Jackson? I don't know. I mean, my gut tells me we should not pay Jamal just because I don't think you should really pay a safety what he's looking to get paid. I think Jamal's probably trying to command $20 million a year, at least from the Jets. And I think that's just because he doesn't want to play for us, so he's going to put this astronomical number out there and then force us to trade him. I think that's mainly what we're seeing. And I think you'll see him settle for like $15 million, $16 million with a team he wants to play for. That would be my guess.
I think what he needs to do is watch some tape of Sean Taylor and understand that until he gets to that level, then he'll get paid the money that he probably wants. He was going to get paid no matter what. He's an all-pro safety. Ron, you're kind of young. I don't know how old you are, but I'm probably a little bit older than you.
I'm 30. Yeah, you got a few years on me.
Yeah, almost 2 decades. But anyway, long story short, if you ever seen this guy play in his prime, you probably seen him play when he was young. This dude was the best safety I've ever seen, complete safety I've ever seen. This guy could hit. He was a bullhawk.
Are you talking about
great insight?
Sean Taylor?
He was like Ed Reed, who just could hit.
Wait, are you talking about Sean Taylor? Or are you talking about?
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm talking about Sean Taylor.
He was incredible. I don't know how long he was in the league prior to him passing, but that was like he was.
3 years.
Yeah, so he probably never saw it.
I think 3 or 4 years.
So he never saw his second contract then, because I would imagine that was probably a 4 or 5 year deal. Yeah, that's crazy. He was incredible to watch for that little bit. Did you ever see the hit from the Pro Bowl, where I think it's like the punter or something like that?
That game, man.
Oh man, I remember watching the highlights from that game. That had to be early 2000s, mid 2000s maybe, like 2005, 6, somewhere in there.
Around, I think.
All Pro 07. Yeah, that guy. He was incredible. He was something else.
Man. You had to see him walk. Ryan, I wish you were, not a young guy back then like Ryan.
Yeah. I was still 16. I was still watching football. I was a big that year I could tell you exactly where I was thinking in that 05-06 range. I was so like pushing for Reggie Bush. I wanted Reggie Bush in the worst way. Yeah, man, I was like, he was awesome to watch in college. Hindsight, probably a good thing we didn't get him, but I like Brickashaw.
Anyway, Brian, it was good talking to you, but like I said, Jamal Adams, go and watch the Sean Taylor tape. Then you know what a real Hall of Fame safety is all about before you exit out money.
I love it. I love it, dude. Take it easy, brother. Thank you for calling into the cockpit. Guys, if you want your shot to win a hat, shirt, or mug from the Jets Discord store, head to the link in the description, down to the Discord link. Head down to the poll section of the Jets Discord. Answer this question. What player just got a $500 million contract today? What was the name of that player?
Call from
Charlie Mahome.
Charlie, what's good, brother? How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Nah, I'm hanging in there. What's on your mind?
A lot of things.
Lots of things. What do you want to talk about?
So, first, what Cam Newton had to say on Instagram.
Oh, I didn't see it. What'd he say?
He was saying, I'm tired of this humble shit.
Yeah.
Like he preys on the humble ones.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a coincidence with the two young quarterbacks that have played in the NFL in this division, being Sam Darnold and Josh Allen, who are like the two odd kids in the class who makes jokes to themselves and nobody else understands.
Yeah. I think Cam Newton, if he stays healthy, he's going to be a scary weapon for that Patriots offense. I just don't trust him to stay healthy. I think he's going to get banged around. I really do. Yeah,
so do I. But I think the point I was trying to get to is that his message means more than what it might seem at the surface.
So you think it's about Sam and Josh?
Yeah.
Maybe. Let him talk smack all he wants. I don't care. That's like, I can't wait for the first game that we play the Patriots where Tom Brady's not there. Like when we faced them back when Castle was the quarterback, there was hope. It was just like, oh man, we got a shot now. Like, I feel like we could beat Cam. Now, I still think the Patriots are going to be a better team than the Jets, but I think we can beat Cam. I think this Jets team is far more improved than we were. I don't know. I'm not going to be too beat up over whatever Cam says. Look at how I bet there's going to be a large scarf influx in the Boston region. Everyone's going to be buying these scarves and crazy top hats and ridiculous clothing because Cam dresses up so crazy. You'll see it.
Yeah.
Watch. There's going to be a run on scarves. What else you got to talk about? I know you had some other stuff.
Do you think Christopher Johnson should and will put a playoff mandate on Gase this year? I think he should because development of a quarterback has to happen in such little time, and those are precious moments that you can't just be wasting with a subpar coach.
Sure. I would say this. I don't think Christopher Johnson's going to give us a playoff mandate because he's a businessman, and businessmen don't want to give themselves backed into a corner with no way out. If you put a playoff mandate, if you don't make the playoffs, you basically have to fire Gase. Now, if you I don't need to make the playoffs this year. If I see enough growth from Sam where I know he's the franchise quarterback, that's a successful season for me. Gase has absolutely earned an additional year if Sam looks good. If Sam looks bad and this team looks bad and they look unprepared and everything, they're not totally screwed with the whole COVID thing. And I don't know. It could be a very weird season for us to try and grade, which I would be losing my mind over. I do not want to go through another season with Gase and being like, oh, I think he's all right or I think he's bad. That's the worst thing for me, is if we wind up getting like can't tell.
There are two things for me. I see that second scenario as being awfully likely. He's not the quarterback. He's not the quarterback's coach. Like, at the same time, we got to realize he's got to put a locker room together. He's got to function as a head coach. And also, I think we have enough talent to where if we meet expectations, we could be 8-8 and make that 7th seed. So if we're not making the 7th, to me, that's below expectations, and that's why I think we should move on from him.
Yeah, and look, I could understand if that's the census at the end of the season. I just don't think I would put a playoff mandate on it. I think it's I don't want to say it sends the wrong message. I think we should be saying we are expecting the playoffs. We're expecting a big, or maybe not expecting the playoffs. We're expecting a big uptick in quality of play from getting all our players back from injury, second year in the system, Sam with a new offensive line. Like, there's a lot of positive here. And I just want to see it going. Like, I could live with 7-9, but like against a really good schedule. 7-9 last year really should have been 5-11. It shouldn't have been 7-9. So a 7-9 season this year, it feels like an improvement to me as long as we see the growth from Sam. If Sam flounders, then yeah, sure, can Gase. I don't care. Even if we make the playoffs and we somehow make it in spite of how Sam was playing, then I would move on from Gase. I think Sam's development is numero uno in this whole scene.
I agree. Did you hear that Woody Johnson's coming back?
I did hear that. Is that definite, or if like Trump gets in for 2020, does he go back to England? I don't know if that. I assume it's maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know how this works.
Well,
I'm not necessarily looking forward to him coming back. I don't think he's like a bad guy. The thing with me with the Johnsons is they're willing to shell out the money that they need to shell out. I just kind of think they get in the way sometimes, and I really like Joe Douglas. So as long as Joe Douglas is making all the football decisions, I don't really care who the owner is.
Yeah, I agree with that. But the thing is, I would prefer Christopher Johnson because just because of the way that Woody and Christopher talked about the team. Whenever Woody would talk about the team, it was more in a business sense.
Sure.
Whenever Christopher would talk about the team, I felt like it was more in a football sense.
Yeah, I have liked Chris a lot. I really enjoyed him kind of backing the players and saying like, hey, look, if you kneel, we'll pay the fine. Like, no matter how you like sort of fall on this whole topic with the kneeling thing, I really like the coaches, the owners, all the players, all different ethnicities kind of being together. It's a team atmosphere. It's a team sport. Like, as much as the fans are a huge part of, any sporting event, it's, I want to see the camaraderie on the field first. I don't really care. I like where Chris Johnson's head's at. I think he's a good guy. I don't really know Woody Johnson. I just kind of know him based on like the history I saw of like wanting Tim Tebow and not signing Darrelle Revis because he's got his panties in a twist that he he had to get rid of him and he held out. I don't know. It's tough.
So another point about Gase.
Sure.
The Jets were 5th on conversions of 3rd and 5 or shorter.
Okay.
So my thing is that shows we're good in favorable third down situations, and it tells me we have to run the ball more to create those situations.
Well, I don't think it's so much that we need to run the ball more. I think we just need to run it more effectively. Last year we had a lot of like hit behind the line of scrimmage type runs, and that's where it kind of killed us. We're going to have 5 brand new opening day starters. Now, Alex Lewis finished the year with us as the starting left guard, but I think this beginning of the season we're going to have Becton, Lewis, McGovern, Van Roten, Fant from left to right, and it's going to be all new faces compared to what we started with last year. Remember, Lewis didn't have like a training camp really. He kind of like, I don't know. I think this line's going to be completely different. I think Bell's going to play a lot better because of it. I think we're going to see the receivers play better because of it. I think Sam's going to play better because of it. I think it's a whole thing this year. I'm looking forward to it. Brother, thank you so much for the call. I really got to get to the next call. Boom! You've been ejected from the cockpit. No, thank you so much for calling in. That was a good call. I keep saying every week I got to bring back the chicken with the timer, and I just have not brought back the chicken with the timer. I just have the chicken that flies across the screen. Let's hit the chicken. I'll throw the chicken just because I haven't thrown the chicken in a while.
That's it! You're out of here!
You're out of here! All right, let's get to the next caller.
Call from
Vinny.
Vinny, what's good, brother? How you doing?
How are you doing? I was just gonna ask you. Did you guys dog? How did your dog handle the 4th?
So we went down the shore 2 weekends ago. So not this past weekend, but the weekend before. And there were a few fireworks going off, and she was very scared. She was very skittish of it.
And I know my dog. I couldn't get 5 times. I had to walk her down the hill just to go to the bathroom. I had to get my mother to help me walk the dog. She was so afraid of dying.
Yo, entertainer talking sports. What's good, boy? I see you on there. You gotta come on, you entertainer. You gotta come on the cockpit sometime. Talk to me. Hit me up. We'll have you on the channel. Sorry, Vinny. I looked over at the chat. I saw him pop in.
No, I'm just gonna see what. Yeah, no, I'm looking about. What do we talk about? That you talking about? Obviously, the Robby Anderson trash talk.
Yeah, the Robby Anderson trash talk. That doesn't seem to be too hot of a topic. It's really been the Patrick Mahomes contract.
Yeah, the Patrick Mahomes contract is ridiculous, man.
You don't like it?
He'll be able to buy all the Hunts ketchup he wants.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic. He can do whatever he wants.
He could honestly have a pool full of Hunts ketchup.
What was that?
He could have a pool full of Hunts ketchup.
Yeah, he really could. He could take all the little squirt bottles. I would like to imagine he's going to take those little tiny tear off ones that you get on like a drive-through or like a concession stand, and he's just going to squeeze them all into it.
They have their own ketchup, or they sell Heinz.
He should
like Wendy's and McDonald's do fancy ketchup, and Burger King is the only one that still does Heinz.
I would
stand McDonald's ketchup.
I'll be honest. I'm sure I could tell the difference between ketchups if I had them like right next to me, but I don't think I could tell you that Wendy's or McDonald's ketchup tastes different.
Obviously, I was going to ask you this question: if you obviously. What are your thoughts on? I'm gonna ask you, what was your thoughts on the Redskins situation?
Ooh, that's a good topic. Okay, I like that. Redskins situation. So I'm cool with them changing the name. I don't really have a stake in it because I'm not Native American at all. But I think
I think it's about time for the name to change. It's like just because it's not a common it's a derogatory term, but just because it's not commonly used doesn't make it less offensive.
Sure.
It's like the other N word that you shouldn't hear unless someone's speaking Spanish. You know what word that is?
You got me.
Negro.
Look, I think the whole derogatory term for like an Indian or a Native American, if there's people that it genuinely offends and everything like that, I think it's time for a name change. I really do. I'm curious to see what they do. I saw a few cool. I actually retweeted an interesting name change. The Red Tails. Yeah, I thought that was a cool idea. I don't know if that's what they'll run with, but I like that. Someone told me the Pigskins.
It was a George Lucas movie.
Oh yeah, someone told me the Pigskins, and I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of a cool name. You know, whatever. They have the hogs and everything. And then I'm talking to someone else, and they're like, well, what if police are offended that it's the Pigskins? And I was like, damn it, I didn't think of that. I was like, this is harder than I thought.
Although I was laughing at some troll online trying to say, what about Chiefs and Braves? Aren't those offensive terms?
Well, so they're actually, I think, or not the Braves. I think it was the Indians that came out and had a statement saying they're. Their name too. Yeah. I think you'll see the Braves. I guess you'll see the Chiefs too.
Braves means showing courage, and Chief means guy in charge. They're just regular terms.
Oh, okay. So that's not as bad.
Happen to use
the problem people have with the Chiefs and the Braves is the tomahawk chop, because that's
I love the tomahawk chop. I don't want to see that go away. Like I'm gonna be that like really like old guy, bigot that you get. Back in my day they had the tomahawk chop, and
I'm looking. Hey, do you have any idea when they're gonna finally release Bryce Hall's jersey number?
I don't know. I was surprised they released all the other rookies except for his, or at least most of the other rookies. I don't think it was all of them.
I saw on like those knockoff cheap off jersey sites. I saw someone trying to sell one jersey with his name was a random number. I can't remember what the number was. I think it was 34.
Yeah, maybe Yeah, I don't know. Cornerback. So he's got what pick? He's got between the 20s and I think the 30s. I think are the two numbers two sets of numbers he could choose from.
Yeah, no, it's just be an interesting season.
It really is. I have my fingers crossed that we actually get a season. I have a pit in the bottom of my stomach. There's no way. Imagine this. Imagine Dak Prescott lining up behind the entire second string offensive line because the Cowboys got the all offensive line got COVID. If you can't do this, but if I was a coach, I'd be like, hey guys, we're all gonna go do a team function. This one guy's got chicken pox or COVID, and we're all gonna be in the same room together. Oh no, we all got it at the same exact time, and now boom, we go into the season and we play. Now you can't do that, but that's what I would love to see happen. Just get it out of the way. Hopefully you got some immunities.
I just want to get this. I just want to get sports back because I've been so bored. I've been running out of things to watch. I'm running out of things to watch. I'm going back to old cartoons from when I was a child.
Ooh, what's your favorite old cartoon? Throw a name at me.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Okay, that's good. That was on probably when I was in, I would say high school. Maybe the end of middle school, but I think it was in high school. I'm a big Rocko's Modern Life kind of guy. I throw that on. It was great.
That was a good show. You know who worked on that show?
Yeah, it was the guy
Stephen Hillenburg.
Yeah. They had now the creator of Rocko's Modern Life was also the creator of, I believe, Angry Beavers. I don't think it was Hey Arnold. I think it was was Ren and Stimpy in there?
No.
Whoever did the Nicktoons.
I did Ren and Stimpy's really. I can't remember his name, but
it was the first few Nicktoons. I'm pretty sure it was Angry Beavers, Rocko's Modern Life.
The first one was Ren and Stimpy. That was the first one.
But I don't think that was the same creator. That's the only thing.
Second was Rugrats. I think third was Ariel Monsters or Wild Thornberries. No, wait,
those
third
were good.
Was Doug, I think.
Doug was a good one. Doug wound up going over to Disney Channel. I didn't watch him too much after that. I was a Nickelodeon guy.
Yeah, although the people who hated Doug the most were people named Doug.
Oh, of course. Boom. Sorry, Vinny. You're out of here. I had fun talking Nicktoons with you, but I got other callers to get to. Other callers in there. Entertainer. We got to do something. We'll do something soon. I like having people on this show, so I don't mind doing the solo flying, but every now and then I like having people on.
Call from
Frank from Florida.
Hey, what's good, dude? How you doing?
Hey, Ryan. Doing all right. How about you, man?
I'm hanging in there. Another day in paradise. What's on your mind?
A couple of things. In regards to two calls before, in regards to Adam Gates, but I just want to ask you a question. How accurate do you think that is that Adam Gates really wanted to trade Marcus May, and also that Jamal Adams does not want anything to do with Adam Gates?
So I would say this. Is that a rumor going around that Adam Gase wanted to trade Marcus May? I didn't catch that.
Yeah,
one.
It came out today. It came out today on ESPN.
Okay, so I would say that's probably true in some capacity. If we're looking to extend Jamal long term, I think Adam Gase wants Jamal long term. I think Greg Williams. I think Joe Douglas. I think the whole organization wants Jamal long term. If that's the decision, then yeah, I would look to trade Marcus May. When we drafted Ashton Davis, I think it made a lot of sense for the Jets to look towards potentially trading Marcus May. Now with the whole Jamal Adams drama coming out and everything that's going on, I would say that Jamal doesn't want to be here long term. The Jets should look to hold on to Marcus May. I wouldn't give him a contract yet. I would wait till the end of the season, but I would look to hold on to him. So I think their opinions could definitely change at this point. I do think it was probably true at some point. Now with the Jamal Adams contract, do I think Jamal Adams has an issue with Adam Gase? Maybe to an extent. I think he's using it as a way to get out of New York. Entertainer, I did like Cat Dog. I'm a big fan of Cat Dog. Sorry. But yeah, I don't think Jamal genuinely has a big issue with Adam Gase. I think he's just using it as an escape hatch.
Yeah, here's my whole dilemma with everything. It's that, you know, Jamal is the one guy that we drafted that's going to, you know, that's a Pro Bowl type of player. Because if you look at all our drafts, we haven't drafted anybody even in the same category as Jamal. I know Sam is still up in the air. Hopefully Adam Gase can get him right, but Jamal is like the for sure Pro Bowl type player. And the last guy that we drafted that was in the same category as him was Revis. And before that, you could probably go Mangold, maybe DeBrickashaw you can really throw in there. But it's very rare that we draft a guy like Jamal. Now, here's the deal with everything is that if we don't sign Jamal, I honestly think the morale of the team and the way the media is going to portray everything, they're going to it's going to be the biggest circus of all time if we trade that guy.
Well, dude, that's what I've been saying for a while. I've been saying Jamal Adams is going to drag us through the dirt in the media, and we are going to look terrible because of it. Now, because of all the stupid stuff he's doing right now, I am all about him. You know, just keep mouthing off, just keep doing it. The New York tabloids are going to, like, chew him up. The thing is, we're getting beat up by other teams right now. They're like, oh, the Jets aren't going to sign their best player, typical Jets. And it's like, well, hold on. We want to sign him. I just, you know, whatever. I don't know.
Look, I love what Joe D's. I love everything Joe D's done on paper, but still, we have to see exactly how everything plays out on the field. And I'll be honest with you, I feel like he's very green with dealing with the media. He barely talks, but every time he opens his mouth, there's always some type of circus that comes out of it. For example, like look at how he handled the Jamal Adams situation, saying that he listened to offers last year in the offseason. I'm sorry, last year during the trade deadline. Do you think that if somebody called Aaron Donald, do you think the GM's going to, release that information over to the media? I highly doubt it.
So from what I've heard, I believe it was Robby Sabo that was actually telling me this, was that the Jets did not leak that information. It was the Cowboys that leaked the information, hoping to get a trade worked out. I don't know how true that is, or if there was actually someone inside the Jets organization that was kind of, feeding this information to the press. But it sounds like that was the case.
But he was transparent about it too, because they questioned him on it. And he said, he's always going to listen to offers.
Yeah,
but you can't do that with the New York media.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
I understand that, but you got to also understand it's the guy's job. If he doesn't pick up the phone and doesn't listen to offers, he's not doing his job. And Jamal Adams can, kick and scream all he wants, but whatever. I think
he should have had like a Belichick one-word response with like Jamal's a Jet. Like, pretty
just
good with that too.
Sure,
Gase is like, I'm looking forward to Cincinnati. Like, he kind of has like a Belichick type of like dealing with the media. I'm not saying coaching wise, but the way he handles the media is pretty similar to the way Belichick would.
Yeah, look, I would say the way I would have liked him to handle it, I really didn't have a problem with it. I'll be honest. I think Joe Douglas has said the right thing through this entire process. He's like, look, we want to make Jamal a lifetime Jet. He hasn't said anything about like wanting to trade him. He's like, yeah, we listen to offers. Like, kill me. I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like you're clearly not going to trade Sam. You just drafted Quinnen, so you'd have to eat a huge dead cap hit. So that was obviously off the table. I don't know. I think I like Joe Douglas. I think he's the first GM we've had that feels like a legitimate GM. Probably since Tannenbaum, and even Tannenbaum was more like a money guy than like a draft.
Tannenbaum was the absolute gambler. Like,
that's
some of the moves that he would do it, and sometimes it panned out. Like,
the last time we were,
that was a great trade.
I thought it was awesome. I thought it was a fantastic trade at the time. I was like, wow, we just got a steal. we paid what, a third round pick to get this guy that like Sanchez was. Look, I like Sanchez. I don't really have a problem with him. I think he got a bad rap from the butt fumble, and he never turned the corner. And I think part of that was on Rex. I think part of that was on the GM not putting talent around him. They basically took all his weapons away. I don't know. I just.
You're right. I agree. I mean, getting rid of Braylon for Plaxico, that was the worst move of all time for Sanchez because I wanted had a really good rapport with Braylon, and he just screwed that up.
I really wanted Braylon to stay. I did not want Santonio Holmes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was pretty bummed when we let him leave. One of my favorite plays in the last 10 years from the New York Jets was when Braylon Edwards did the Dougie over top of it was one of the McCourty brothers, I think. No, it was against the Patriots. It was in the end zone, and just I was like, oh, we're gonna win.
Yeah.
That was the last time
Sanchez
I really
through. The problem with Sanchez was, like I said, he was very poorly developed. Mm-hmm. Schottenheimer gets a lot of crap, man, but he's a good offensive coordinator, and they let him go, and then who did they get to replace him? I think it was it was Tony Sperano, the head coach of Miami.
Yep. Yeah.
That was a disaster. That screwed them up, completely. And then after that, they got Mooringwig, I think it was. It was a mess.
That our franchise since those 2 playoff runs, and even during those 2 playoff runs with Rex kind of beating his chest the way he did, I love the bravado. It was a lot of fun when we were winning. Once we started losing, oh man, that hurt.
Because that's what the media does. The media, yeah. Hey, look, Rex will probably still be our coach in Tannenbaum if it wasn't for the media, how toxic they were. And I know Tannenbaum made a lot of mistakes with the Tebow, but you can't really blame Tannenbaum for all that because Woody Johnson had a lot to do with it. Woody Johnson wanted to sell tickets.
Yeah,
that's why that year we pushed a Trey Pennington and we got Brett Favre. Was because of that.
I love the move to get Brett Favre. I think it was the right move. I think
it was great. It was so entertaining.
Our team was dialed in. We were 8-3 before he got hurt.
Yeah, until he tore his rotator cuff.
Yeah, man. If he had stayed healthy, I think the Jets probably go to another AFC Championship game. We were that good that year. It was insane. We went into Tennessee. I think they were 8-0 at the time, and we just thumped them.
We beat them.
Yeah, we smacked them around.
At New England as well. I think it was a Thursday night game.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. No, I thought it was. I think it was I thought it was a day game. I could be wrong. I loved watching that team that year, and I remember because I had watched. In person, I had season tickets. I had watched Chad Pennington through his whole career as a Jet and, watching him throw, and, I never thought anything of it. And then Brett comes in that one year and throws a missile from, the 30-yard line on a rope to the back of the end zone. I was like, oh, man,
Just imagine if we would have had him instead of Sanchez. You remember those 2 years that he played for Minnesota was unbelievable.
He was unreal. He had Sidney Rice, and he had, I don't even remember who the other receivers were at the time. I think he had who was that crazy fast guy that we had for a little bit? We got from Seattle.
He had AP.
well, he had Adrian Peterson, but he also had God, what the heck's his name? The guys are gonna mention it in the chat before I could say it again. Percy Harvin. There it is. Yep, they had Percy Harvin. That team was awesome.
It was ridiculous.
It was really cool.
Yeah. The biggest ass whooping I've ever seen somebody get was that game against New Orleans, the Bounty Gate game.
Oh, man.
God.
Where
Greg
he just
Williams dialed them up. Oh, my God.
When you start paying guys to start injuring players, I guess you'll get that little extra edge. Listen, dude,
I love about Greg Williams. Look, Greg Williams is the best move that McCagan and Johnson, they did together was bringing him in. I think it was fantastic.
I agree. I think Greg Williams is a home run. Between him and Douglas, those are the 2 best signings we had the last 2 years. And I'm hoping Gase can kind of throw his hat into that ring. Hey,
look, and I'm not one of those guys. Hey, look, I really, really want Gase to pan out because I see the writing on the wall already. If he does not pan out, there's a very, very strong possibility Sam Darnold is done.
Oh, God, don't tell me that.
He's not going to survive a third offensive coordinator or offense.
It's Sam we trust. I'm injecting you. I don't even want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it yet. I know it's going to be bad. If Adam Gase flops, it's going to be real hard trying to get Sam on board with another. I have faith in Sam. 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 Even if it's not Adam Gase, I do have faith in Sam.
Call from Chris from Florida.
Oh boy, Chris from Florida. What's up, dude?
What's going on, Jets, Jets fans?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. What's on your mind, Chris?
My gosh, dude, I had a premonition, and I'm telling you, Joe Douglas is a genius. You've got to hear me on this, man.
Go for it.
After the Patrick Mahome deal, let's think about it. And you know what? Even if it does end up him going to the Cowboys, let him, because Joe Douglas is a G. After Patrick Mahomes has made his contract, now the Cowboys have to see Dak Prescott make his move, and he is going to hit the wall with his money. And with the way that the Cowboys are dealing with their cap space, they have to make room. And knowing that Jamal Adams will probably will accept a low-term deal when his contract is up, they're going to want to take advantage of that. But they still got to make room for the cap space. So the Jets can probably feed from that. Joe Douglas is a genius. He used to come from that division. So he's probably got people talking to him, chatting to him. Hey, man, we hear that the Cowboys might help you. Because why wouldn't the Eagles want to help out the Jets if it means sabotaging someone in their own division?
Sure, absolutely. Look, if you told me I could give away some inside knowledge on the Patriots and I could, get the Patriots to flop, I would do it in a heartbeat. I would hope the Eagles, if they had some inside information, would share it with Joe Douglas to help sabotage the Cowboys. Now, listen, I see if I'm the Cowboys, or if I'm the Jets and I'm looking for something from the Cowboys for Jamal, I know everyone wants draft picks and they want all this extra stuff. If you could give me La'el Collins, the right tackle that's under contract for the next 5 years, I would do that in a heartbeat. He's a top 5 right tackle in this league, and that Jets offensive line just becomes legit for the next 4 years, like locked in. Like our guards would be the only thing that we could have up in the air, but man, left tackle, center, right tackle would be phenomenal. Not to mention that contract is incredibly favorable. I think it's like $3 million this year, maybe like $8 million next year, and then like 3 years at $10 million. And if you think the cap goes up each year, maybe except for like next year, the Jets would be in phenomenal shape. And the Cowboys would have to eat $15 million in dead cap this year if they were to make that move. So there would have to be some type of, maybe the Jets take on a player that has a big cap hit with them, like so that way they could facilitate that a little bit easier. I would be all about it. If I could buy a bad contract to get a top-notch player, I think I would make that move. What do you think you want from the Cowboys if we were to move them to Dallas?
I would go 100% with the offensive tackle, or I would just take a wide receiver and a low draft pick, because the thing is, like I said, Joe Douglas has Jamal Adams by the duels, man. By the duels. Because he can even say this to Jamal Adams. Either I trade you because the Cowboys are stuck in a pit because their quarterback, who all their fans, and not only the fans, but the players are even saying, you got to keep this quarterback. He's going to be reflecting a good business money. So either I get a good amount of deals from the Cowboys and they'll get you, or you end up waiting because I still got you under contract and you see how much money you can make with us, but you got to be patient. But either way, you don't get a dang choice, Jamal. And you know what? You better sit down and shut your mouth, because Joe Douglas is a genius, man. I'm telling you, this guy is patient. He's collective. He's a businessman, and he's looking at it business-wise. I understand the last caller guy, how he felt about Joe Douglas talking, but here's the thing. He compared him to – he wanted him to be like a Bill Belichick conversation. Here's the thing. Joe Douglas is a GM, not a coach. Coach don't got to say all about contracts. Coach says, I want this player to do this job. I want this player to get out of my team because he's not doing it right. That's all we got to say. But as a GM, the GM's got to say, look, this is a business. If I think you got the talent and the skills, I will take advantage. But if you sign that paper, if you put your finger and initial that paper and says the contract, you are stuck to it. Nobody forced you to do it. Nobody told you you couldn't do this and then bail out. No, you read the paper. Your agent read the paper. Either sit down and shut up or just lose all that money, because you're going to get hit wrong. You're going to get hit wrong. And Joe Douglas is just proven to me this year that he knows what he's doing, man. I love our GM. Give me another topic.
Look, I really do. I think when you look at what Joe Douglas did this offseason, he did exactly what he set off to do last offseason. Not even offseason, but I guess like when he first came in. He said to Sam Darnold's parents, we are going to do whatever it takes to surround your son with talent. He went out and he got offensive linemen. He went out and got wide receivers. He drafted offensive linemen. He drafted a wide receiver. Like, he is doing exactly what fans want him to do, exactly what he said he was going to do. And I see Evan, I see Ed in the chat saying, "In Joe we trust," and that is like the epitome of this offseason. And Joe, we trust. Just have faith. This guy knows what he's doing. I really believe he's the smartest football guy we've had in our front office in a long time. You look at all the guys he's brought in with Phil Savage, the guy who used to run the Senior Bowl, the Reese's Senior Bowl. That's a huge thing to know. You have scouts. He's friends with Todd McShay. He was roommates with him. So there's the potential of him potentially getting roped into the Jets at some point. I love everything that Douglas has done so far.
I agree, and just think about how his draft pick was level. Can you ever name another first-time GM for the Jets, first starting, who had a high B? This is the guy who is seriously making a true culture change. Joe, as far as the coach, Adam Gase, everyone already knows how we feel. Everyone knows how they feel like he's got another chance to either coast through this year or end up getting fired after this season, regardless. But Sam Darnold is the focus, and Joe Douglas has shown, hey, I said what I'm going to do, and I'm going to stick to it. If someone else is going to get in my way on my goals to be keeping my job, but also making the Jets a noticeable franchise team, the best move, because I'm going to run you over just like an offensive lineman. He's standing his ground.
Well, I just love his mentality because I've always loved offensive linemen. I feel like they're just like the big heifers of the team, and they're just like no one hates the offensive lineman because if you hate the offensive lineman, they're just going to let the guy run right past them. So like there's like a camaraderie between those guys, and to see that in a GM, it feels like we have an offensive lineman as our GM. Like that's like it feels like he took his playing days and just sort of applied it to the knowledge he has about the game and the way he sort of goes about building a roster anyway. And I think it's the way you have to build a roster. I think you have to build it from the lines out. So we have the strong defensive line. We just got to get the strong offensive line, and then you just kind of build out from there. Now, what do you think? Let's talk about this. You asked for a subject change. What do you think about the Patrick Mahomes deal?
Okay, so Patrick Mahomes, dude did his serve.
Oh, Chris, I'm sorry. You're cutting in and out. Thank you so much, Chris. I apologize. I really want to talk to you about that, but I got to kick you off. Can't hear you. J-Dog Plays says, notice me, Jets talk. It's because he's saying give up Jamal for Quentin Nelson. I would love to give up Jamal for Quentin Nelson. That's not going to happen, though, because Quentin Nelson is probably the best guard in the entire league, and the Colts would be dumb to give him up for Jamal. If they did, 100%, 110% I would do that. I think he's phenomenal.
Call from
Steve.
Steve, what's up, dude? Welcome to the cockpit.
Hey, Ryan, how's it going?
I'm hanging in there. How was your 4th of July?
It was pretty good. I was able to, get away to the beach for a couple days. So,
nice.
Just did the proper social distancing, the mask, and all that stuff. But still, nevertheless, able to get away for a little bit, which was great. But yeah,
I love it.
Excited to talk some Jets football with you.
Yeah, what's on your mind?
Yeah, I mean, so how do you think the future cap space is going to be with the Chiefs, throughout the next, 10 to 12 years now? I mean, I'm sure they're smart. Like they really thought through the structure of the deal and all that. But do you think, the Chiefs eventually, they're going to have a horrible defense eventually, not being able to play players? Do you think any of that would come up at some point?
Yeah, look, you can't pay a quarterback as much as they're going to pay Mahomes and not feel the ramifications later on. They're going to have to let good players walk, and it's something that all teams that pay their quarterback kind of have to do. Now, I don't think we know what the structure of the contract is yet, so that'll tell a lot. I think they're probably trying to gun for a Super Bowl these next few years, the next 2 to 3 years, so I could see those cap hits being a little lighter, and then I think it's really going to hit them hard, and that's when they're going to have to depend on their drafting, and that's what you get outside of the rookie quarterback contract. So once the Jets have to pay Sam, we're going to have to depend heavily on our drafting, which has been really bad, the last 20 years. So with the Chiefs, I would say this: going to go all in, even if this contract winds up fizzling out, which I don't believe it will. I think they're gonna do well. I think Mahomes is good enough. Where we've seen them with a not so great defense, Chris Jones is probably between Chris Jones and Honey Badger. Those were really the 2 players they had on that defense. If you got rid of one of them, yeah, you lose some of the pressure, but Mahomes is still going to be putting up 50 points a game. The guy's incredible. If you can outscore everyone, you don't really need to play defense. You just have to kind of play bend but don't break. Give up a lot of yards in between the end zones. Just don't give up the home run play, and that's really what they got to do.
I just wonder, we all know Dak is on the table. We know Deshaun Watson's probably coming up, probably next year. I think Deshaun, I don't think the Texans are ready to give out a contract right now. But
sure.
I'm just trying to think, is everyone going to match a $45 million deal per year? I wonder, if people are still going to aim for the 30s and they just realize that Mahomes is elite and that's why he got that number.
I think you'll see guys try to get up to Mahomes' numbers. I don't know if there's going to be a team that's going to budge on it just yet because I think everyone sort of realizes Mahomes is a freak talent. The only players that might have a shot at getting that, if Deshaun Watson goes on a crazy run, they get to the AFC Championship game or Super Bowl, then yeah, you could see something like that. Same thing with Lamar Jackson. Those are the two guys I could kind of see sort of have an attempt at it, but Dak, I don't think Dak's going to sniff 45. That's not happening. No, I do think if I were him, I would sit and play on the franchise tag 2 years in a row.
Yeah, do it twice. Yep.
Yeah, because then you're going to see other quarterbacks that are not as good, or like Kirk Cousins. A lot of people don't believe Kirk Cousins should be one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league, but he is because he played it out that way and he waited for his chance to hit unrestricted free agency. And I think that's what I would do if I were Dak. He's going to get overpaid, and Giant fans are going to love it. Eagles fans are going to love it. Skins fans are going to love it. But hey, look, Sam Darnold, not too far down the line. We're going to want to re-sign him probably going into his 5th year. I don't think we're going to re-sign him before his 4th year. I think we're going to probably need to see more. Yeah.
Yeah, just be financially responsible. Like we all say, we all know what Jamal is, but financially being responsible as a team, they have to wait a year. I obviously they can pay him, but you just don't know. Besides the pandemic, you just got to do the right things as an organization. That's things we haven't done, and we all talk about, I think we finally have someone that does.
Yeah, and that's just it. There's, if you're just making the right calls, and we're gonna start seeing this turnaround, and we start seeing some wins because we're drafting better, because we're not throwing stupid money at Tremaine Johnson, or I like C.J. Mosley, but we overpaid him by a whole lot. He overpaid him by $3 million a year, and he was phenomenal for this.
I didn't even hear other teams that were going in contract talks that heavily with him. We literally outbid ourselves. We did technically with Bell. Bill. Yeah. Not Bill. Bell, we technically overpaid, but it wasn't as ridiculous as we all thought it was going to be. But you get my point. It's just McCagnon was just pay this guy, pay this guy, pay this guy.
Yeah, McCagnon is not the way you should build a team. You watch kind of what he did, and it's and a little bit of each piece was why he got canned ultimately. And I'm hoping Joe Douglas, uses all that knowledge he got from Ozzie Newsome and just sort of I hope he drafts some good offensive linemen. That's all I want. If we have a good offensive line, I have faith that the other pieces are going to fall into place.
I do too. And one quick thing, I'll let you go. What do you think about this? Oh my God, this Leonard Williams demand. He wants 18 to 20 million a year from the Giants, and I'm just bro. You're the most average defensive tackle ever. Your draft position was ridiculous for everything.
Sure.
Thank God. That was a horrible. That would have been horrible if we kept him.
Yeah, for sure. Look, there's no way the Jets were going to play him on the franchise tag or anything like that. It was you're gone after this season. So I'm ecstatic that the Giants gave up what they did. I was stunned we got that much for him, but I thought it was a good roll of the dice for the Giants. Now him asking for $18 to $20 million is probably his way of just saying hey, I want to test free agency. I don't really want to hold on to this, and if the Giants are dumb enough to pay him that, which I don't think they are.
I don't think they are either. I think Gettleman knows that he lost on this one.
Well, that's just it. It's okay, look, I kind of got burnt. Let's franchise tag him. Let's at least have a starting caliber D-tackle who could potentially show us, a really high upside. If Leonard Williams comes out and has friggin' 15 sacks, who knows? Maybe, they decide to sign him for that kind of money. But I just don't see it happening. The guy averages 4 sacks, 5 sacks a year.
He's an almost type of stat guy.
It kills me. All the pressures. It's look, he almost got that, and I love the pressure.
He almost sacked Sam a couple times, but no, you even missed Sam with that terrible line.
Yeah, it was really, really sad to kind of watch how that happen. I was not crazy about the Leonard Williams signing when we drafted him because I really like Sheldon Richardson. I really wanted to see Muhammad Wilkerson get extended, and then you have you have the two quarterbacks. You had what was it? It was Winston and Mariota, and I really wanted Mariota at the time, and then I wanted Amari Cooper or the guard that just left the Redskins or got franchise tagged by the Redskins, Sheriff. I think that's who I wanted. And when Williams sort of fell to us, I was like, well, he's supposed to be the best player. I'm okay with it, I guess. Whatever. We have leverage.
Have the best players, supposedly.
Oh, well, that's just it. Anyone who we draft at the top of the board, like, oh, we love Mekhi Becton so much. He was, a top player on our board, regardless of, what we actually thought. But, I don't know. I think the Jets are going to have a very interesting next few years because I think Joe Douglas is the truth. And I think Sam Darnold's the truth. I think we have the GM and I think we have the quarterback. The coach, I'm not so sure on. I love the defensive coordinator. Love Greg Williams. I don't know if he's going to stay here that long. That's my biggest concern, I think.
Yep. Sounds good, man. I'll let you get to some other callers. And as Jamal always says, much love.
Much love. Thank you, dude. I appreciate the call, and I look forward to talking to you again in the future. Guys, if you want your shot to win a hat, shirt, or mug from the Jets Discord store, head down to the link in my description, head to the Jets Discord, head down to the poll section of the Jets Discord, and just answer this question: who was the quarterback or who was the player, name of the player, that just got a massive contract? We're talking $500 million. That's with a B. Like, bananas. Absolutely crazy, this contract. What was that player's name? Answer it in the Jets Discord, and you'll get yourself entered to win a hat, shirt, or mug that I will raffle off at the end of this show. Oh, man. What's up, David? How you doing?
Good evening, sir. How are you doing?
I'm hanging in there. It's been a long last few days.
Yeah, I know. Especially, I started a new job this week, so
yeah, congratulations.
Thanks. It's a manual labor job, so I'm practically killing myself right now.
That's all right. You could use a little muscle. You were floating in the pool. I don't think you were swimming. I think you needed to build up those arms a little bit. Sorry, I'm ripping on you. I didn't mean that.
No, it's fine. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But anyway, I'm going to start out this call with a question.
Shoot.
If you had $450 million for the next 10 years, how exactly would you spend it?
Ooh, if I had $450 million. Now, we don't really... I don't think he's going to see the full value of that contract. But let's say, for argument's sake, let's say we had $450 million. What would I do with that? I would probably pay off all my family members' homes. I'm going to take a page right out of my buddy's book. My buddy's been saying this for a long time. He's been saying I would buy a development, and I would buy all my friends a house in that development, and all my friends could live in that development, and I'd be able to like hang out and like see everyone. It would just be a blast. That would be I think the dream. I think that would be a lot of fun to do. Just sort of share the wealth with your friends and family.
Oh wow, so that's a pretty generous approach you got there.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if I had $450 million, I got plenty of more selfish things that I could be. I could be, dishing out. I would upgrade everything I have, cameras, microphones. I would have a theater room. I'm a big movie buff, so I want a projector. So I'll say, all that sort of stuff. Like I will of course be greedy, but would certainly love to have the cul-de-sac with friends. I think that is a really cool plan.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you could probably become the next Hot Rod. That kind of plan.
I would. You're Hot Rod. I cannot take the Hot Rod name.
Listen, when we get the panel back together, I'll bring a pair of glasses just to kind of make sure that I do actually look like Hot Rod, and everybody in the chat could probably judge off that.
Ooh, anyway. Steven had a great comment. He said, "Become part owner of the Jets." That is a yes. But what's crazy is the Jets are going to be worth like $3 billion, $4 billion, and I'm gonna get like a little minority share with all my money. Like I love the Jets. I don't have that much money. You know what? I'll take all $150 million. I'm gonna put it on blackjack. We're gonna spin, or not blackjack. Spin it on roulette, and then just hope it lands on black. And then we'll have enough money to start to maybe buy the Jets.
Well, I mean, good luck with that, because knowing how money hungry the Johnsons are, they'll probably charge you more than like $3 billion for that.
No. You know what it is? I'm gonna go tell the Johnsons. I'm gonna be like, hey, look, listen, like, get out of here. Go run your baby shampoo empire, and I'm just gonna run the Jets real quick. And although with my luck, I thought Ja'Kai Polite was gonna be really good. What I would do is I would just give all the control to Joe Douglas, and I would not do anything. So if that's what the owners are doing now, I'm all for it. I don't have to buy the Jets.
Well, there'd be no power struggle anymore. That's for a fact.
I'll be like, hey, Adam, give me the crazy eyes right now. Why? Because I'm your boss. I told you to. I don't know. There's so much you could do at 400. What would you do at $450 million?
If I had that large contract, well, I'd buy my dream car, my dream house, which would consist of a pool, a movie theater, a massive jet fan cave, and what else? That would be part of it.
Sure.
Another part of it I would donate to charity. And another part of it I would help out with my family.
Solid. That is a solid plan. What do you think of the Patrick Mahomes contract? Do you think that they overpaid too much, or do you think it's right on par? Do you think it was smart for Mahomes to sign it?
I mean, you knew Mahomes was eventually going to get his money's worth. I just didn't think it would be probably more than 90% of the professional athletes in the United States.
Well, I don't think there's any athlete that has a contract that big. At least in the U.S. I think Ronaldo, or is it Ronaldo?
Well,
no, I know he's not part of it, but I think they were talking largest sports contract ever. I don't know if Ronaldo's ever signed a $500 million deal. I don't think so.
Well, I'm not sure. I think Juventus gave him a pretty massive deal. Oh yeah, Mike Trout.
Trout was $426.5 million. That's crazy. I mean, that's a huge deal.
Oh yeah, but all baseball. I mean, that's essentially all baseball player contracts. This contract is a baseball contract in a football league. You're not going to see that kind of contract anywhere else except for the MLB.
Well, I was looking at a tweet that had other players that had 10-year contracts or long contracts. It was Donovan McNabb, I believe, in 2002, signed a 10-year deal. Mike Vick signed a 10-year deal originally with the Falcons, and then Favre had the lifetime deal with the Packers. I don't remember. There was one other name on that list. I'm losing it right now. But look, a 10-year deal, Mahomes isn't going to see the full 10 years of that deal. He's not going to get $450 million from that contract. He'll renegotiate, and he's going to get a ton of money. But I don't think he's going to see the full 450. It's just not the way NFL contracts work.
What are you going to do about guys like Tyreek Hill when they want to get paid?
You let him walk. Let him walk.
What?
Mahomes is way more important than any one player on that team. If you have Mahomes, you have a shot to win. I think other players they're gonna see like, hey, look, Patrick Mahomes is that good. We have a chance to win a Super Bowl. I think I will take a pay cut to play with Patrick Mahomes. That's what you're gonna see players do. It's gonna be that Tom Brady-esque mentality, I think.
So you think somebody like Tyreek Hill would take a pay cut to play with Patrick Mahomes?
I don't know if Tyreek Hill would, but I think there's other players around the league, like guys that have made their money and are now in the second contract of their career and are like, hey, I'm kind of ring hunting right now. Guys like I don't know, players that you used to see go to New England for less money. I think you're going to see those types of players go to Kansas City for the same idea.
Yeah, that's the other thing with Mahomes' contract. Mm-hmm. I just didn't expect it to be that big.
No, neither did I. I was expecting 5 years, $200 million fully guaranteed. That's what I was expecting.
That's how I was expecting too. Not really a 10-year deal, because the guy's still 24 years old, and then by the time his contract ends, he'll probably still be.
He'll be 36.
Yeah, 36. That's still a prime age for a quarterback. Because quarterbacks can go for a while.
36. I mean, that makes him, in essence, a lifetime Chief. Because 36, especially if he plays the way he's going to play, like if he's going to be running around and possibly opening himself up to bigger shots, you got to think that athletic ability may not last to 36. It's not like he's standing in the pocket like Brady or Manning. It's gonna be interesting to see if he can learn to play from the pocket and maybe not run around quite as much. Then maybe he winds up lasting till he's 40, or who knows? With the way the league is sort of trending right now, it wouldn't shock me to see more rules protecting the quarterback. It wouldn't shock me to see, I don't know. Everything favors the offensive side of the ball and favors the quarterback. I think Mahomes is in a great spot right now. I think it was an awesome contract to sign.
Sure, Mahomes is, yeah.
I'm jealous. I want a $500 million contract. I want it now. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna hold out. I'm not gonna make any more YouTube videos until I get $500 million in donations. I don't think it's gonna happen. Okay, I think the Jamal Adams approach is probably not the way to go.
Well, I mean, now you know Jamal Adams is going to continue to open his mouth because now you're never going to hear the end of it from Jamal. Now that Pat Mahomes got that contract.
Yeah, but look, Jamal was never going to sniff quarterback money ever. Like, that just isn't going to happen, and it's not going to happen with the Jets. Like, I think he's eventually going to settle for $15 or $16 million with the team he wants to play for. I think he's only picking a massive contract with the Jets because he really doesn't want to be here. The same way you're kind of seeing Leonard Williams say, like, hey, I want $18 million. He's not worth $18 million. Jadeveon Clowney's not worth $18 million, and Clowney's significantly better than Leonard Williams. I would be very shocked to see either of those players get the deals they're trying to command.
Well, Leonard Williams, $18 million a year? No way. Like, that would make no sense for the Giants to overpay him. He's not even he's a run-stopping lineman. I mean,
well, that's just it.
Exactly...
We got better after we traded him away. It was like, oh, what the heck? Like, why did we just? I don't know. I was very surprised the Giants made that move. I thought it was a little head scratching to me to begin with, but now that he wants $18 million, now at least they can let him walk and take a comp pick afterwards.
Oh, they do get a comp pick back. So I mean, we still got their third-round pick out of that, which we end up turning into a possible, I don't want to say Jamal Adams replacement, but a player that you could possibly groom into a starter, assuming that Jamal does end up leaving.
Look, I don't think I think when we lose Jamal, our team, specifically our defense, is going to lose a step. You're not going to be able to replace what Jamal does for you because you're probably not going to draft a player as good as Jamal. That's why I really want La'el Collins from the Cowboys. If I can get that right tackle, I know I'm getting a healthy starter and a really top 5, right tackle starter at that position. That's what I would prefer. I would rather not have draft picks and take the all-pro tackle.
Like, if you can find a way to get... I mean, how old is La'el Collins? He's 29 years old, right?
No, he's way younger. He's like 24, 25, maybe. He came out the same year as Jamal, I believe, maybe a year earlier, but his draft stock fell because he was like sort of linked to like a murder investigation. He had nothing to do with it, but teams didn't draft him because of it, and he wound up going as an undrafted free agent, signed, I think, a 3-year contract with the Cowboys, and then just got paid last offseason. Last season.
If the Jets find a way to bring in La'el Collins onto this football team, this offensive line is set. It's completely set. You have an all-pro right tackle. You have a first-round talent in Mekhi Becton. You have a solid center in Connor McGovern. And then you have Greg Van Roten, who evokes pretty solid leadership qualities. And you have Alex Lewis there. Like, I would much rather – like, I would be a lot more comfortable with that than George Fant.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Look, I like George Fant. I think he's going to do better than a lot of other people think. And I was pretty confused by the amount of money we gave Fant, but I would absolutely take Collins, especially because his contract is like really good if he's traded. I think it's like $3 million the first, like this year, then it's like $8 million next year, and then it's $10 million, $10 million, $10 million. Now that probably means he's going to want some more money because all the guarantees are done, but at least you could guarantee his contract for those years, and you don't have to worry about it. But man, I would take him in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
wouldn't even think twice. I think honestly, I think that's the only way Jamal is traded is if we get Collins. I don't know if we're gonna move him for anything. I think we need to get a player. I don't think we're gonna do it just for draft picks. I think we'd rather sit on him for a year and just sort of be like, hey, dude, look, we want you here. We want you long term. You got to come back here. You got to talk to your teammates, and you got to play.
Yeah, but I think the Jamal situation will only heat up with the whole Mahomes contract saga now. Now that Mahomes got a lot of money, I can definitely see Jamal Adams starting to ramp up more social media controversy until a move is finally made, especially with training camp right around the corner. Sure. Jamal's going to show up, and it's going to be awkward. I mean, the thing with that,
I don't know if he's. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to show up. I have a hard time.
I mean, doesn't the CBA
It does, but that doesn't mean that it's going to totally prevent holdouts. It just kind of like hurts the player. Like he might lose. I don't know if his contract tolls a year. I was talking about this with someone else. It was one of the guys on Instagram, AFC East Media, and he was talking about how Mahomes could hold, or not Mahomes, Jamal Adams could fake an injury, like migraines or something like that, where it's not really something you can test for, but he'll kind of avoid playing and avoid getting injured. That would be interesting for me. Like I could see him pulling some sort of stunt. I would have never thought of him pulling that stunt, but I think if he feels like he's got his back against the wall and he can't hold out, I think that's kind of what you'll see happen.
Well, that's unfortunate if that's the case. But we'll see with training camp right around the corner. I mean, we're going to have a lot of positional battles to look out for in camp, especially with the offensive line, running backs, middle linebacker. We're going to see what Mosley and Williamson are coming off injury. Mm-hmm. So training camp's going to be an interesting one this year. And then the whole Jamal Adams thing is the meat and potatoes of it.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. Listen, David, I'm kicking you off the cockpit, and boom, you've been ejected. Guys, if you've not checked out Gangrene David, make sure you head over to his channel and hit subscribe over there. He is another great Jets YouTuber. Man, it is good to be talking to all you guys. Man, we got 13 minutes. If you guys want your shot to win a hat, shirt, or mug from the Jets Discord store, head into the link in my description. Head down to the Jets Discord link. Click on that. Head down to the poll section. In the poll section, you're going to answer this question. What player just received a massive contract extension today? List the name of that player. You will be entered into win a hat, shirt, or mug from the Jets Talk store that I will raffle off at the end of the stream.
Call from
Carlos.
Hey, what's up, Carlos? How you doing?
Hey, how's it going, man? I called in last week. Calling back again, man. I'm a big fan.
Nice, good stuff. What's on your mind?
Definitely, man. I just want to talk about, two previous callers when he was talking about what Joe Douglas did was wrong about admitting that he took calls.
Sure.
I just feel if Joe Douglas would have denied it, it would have come out later on, and that would have lost some respect towards the players. I believe what Joe Douglas is doing is the right thing.
I agree.
In this situation right now, I feel the only way that Jamal will stay with the Jets is if he comes out, apologizes to the locker room, makes a public apology to the fans and to the organization, and move on from there. That's if he truly wants to be a Jet. If he doesn't, if he wants to hold out, if he wants to play these social media games, I believe Joe Douglas is going to find the best option and ship him out. Now, I understand when the caller was saying, we don't draft Pro Bowls, but to be honest, we haven't had Joe Douglas in charge. Let's see what Joe Douglas could do. And I believe whatever he did during this last draft and the last moves, we have to believe in him. It's not the same Jets that we had where they will give in to players' demands or they will make these dumb trades.
Yeah, I really think that you got to look at Joe Douglas with a fresh set of eyes. You don't think of it like, Jamal's going to want his money just like Jermaine and Mosley got their money. He's going to want to get paid around the same. And he's expecting a contract to be paid as such. But it's like, hey, dude, I'm not the GM that gave those contracts out. That was a bad move. Like, yes, I like CJ Mosley, but look, probably shouldn't be paying him $17 million a year. Jamal Adams, sorry, probably not going to want to pay you $7 million a year. Or $17 million a year.
I agree, man. I agree. I think now Joel has keys, and he learned from the Eagles and the Baltimore organization. And this is exactly what he's putting towards the Jets organization. The fans just have to be patient, and they have to be behind that. Because if not, we're always going to be the laughing stock of the division.
Yeah, that's what I want more than anything else is I just want to be looked at as not a laughing stock. I just want to be like a team year in and year out that's like, hey, look, they could compete for a playoff spot. And for like the entirety of the 2000s, for the most part, the Jets were pretty much in that discussion. It was like every other year for the most part. And then we hit, 09 and 2010. And then even 2011, you thought they were going to be good and it just kind of sort of fell apart. But, man, I just want to not be a laughing stock. I want to just be like a respectable team. Like, I think Joe Douglas can bring that to us. I think not giving out these massive contracts is probably a smart move. But I do think you need to retain your own, and part of that is just building through the draft. And I have faith that Joe Douglas is doing the right thing, because just watching what he did for the draft felt like the right thing.
Exactly, man. I agree with you, man. Trust me, man. I get it a lot. I'm out here in California, and they laugh at me because I'm a Jets fan.
Oh, that's all right. You just laugh at them and be like, "Hey, you know what? You guys are jerks. You guys lost your teams. You lost San Diego. You lost Oakland."
Exactly, man. At the end of the day, hey, you know what? I just feel that, Joe Douglas has us on the right path. We can have these Jets fans saying, "Oh, we need to pay Jamal. We need to do this for Jamal." No, we don't. At the end of the day, we still have a contract for 2 years. If he wants to be a diva and say this and say that, trust me, I believe Joe Douglas will make the best move for the organization. Not for him, but for the organization.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think he's going to do the right thing. I don't think he's going to cave to Jamal, because if you cave to Jamal, you're going to have to cave to Sam. You're going to have to cave to Quinnen. It's going to be a lot harder. It's so hard when you have those first 4 years of a contract. I am 110% behind players getting paid and getting paid, fully guaranteed contracts. I would have no problem with that. My issue with Jamal is that I don't think he's earned the money that he thinks he's worth right now. And that's hey, let's just sit a year. If you ball out, if we can't pay you, I'm fine trading you. And I won't think bad of him. I think he genuinely doesn't want to be here, and he's kicking and screaming.
What Baltimore does. They take the most out of the player, and when it's done, they let him walk or they trade him, and then they move on. And that's how the organization runs.
Dude, you take your comp pick and you move on. You draft well again. If you can draft a backup player with that 3rd round pick, or a contributor with that 3rd round pick, it almost alleviates the loss of that player. Not to mention the cap space that you save. You wind up saving, if we move on from Jamal, we're saving $15 million a year, and that can go towards other players. You can put it towards a pass rusher.
I'm with you, man. I just think, if you were saying that Jamal might say, "Oh, I have a head injury," or something that we can't test with, I feel that Greg is going to put the defense out there, and a lot of people are going to see what the defense is going to do with C.J. Mosley and everybody back without, to be honest, Jamal is a playmaker, but I feel that we could live without him.
I don't disagree. I think he's an awesome weapon to have, and I think on a Super Bowl contending team, he is a great piece. I think on a rebuilding team like the Jets, he's more of a luxury than anything else. And it's not a knock on Jamal. He is a good player. I just don't think the Jets are not in a position where they should be paying a safety the money that he's going to command, and that's just kind of where it is. It just sort of sucks. Yeah, I agree, dude.
All right,
listen,
man,
brother.
I want to talk to you real quick. We appreciate it, man. Keep doing
Peace. Thank you so much for calling. Wait, where are you from in California? Oh, he hung up. That's all right. Sorry. I have my little cork board over here. I'm starting to put thumbtacks in for where you guys are from, so I got to start asking you guys where you're from at this point. I keep goofing on it. I think I have one in California. Unfortunately, I did a world map because I know we got some guys in New Zealand and Australia that watch the show. And I was really excited to plug them in. And then New Jersey and New York are this big, so I can't fit any pins on the area that everyone's from. Whatever. Jake, what's up, dude? Welcome to the cockpit.
Ryan, another week. How you doing?
Nah, I'm hanging in there. Another day in paradise. What's on your mind?
I know. Well, I finally read the Robby Anderson tweet, and my God, I thought Trump said some really dumb stuff in my life, or this guy takes the cake, in my opinion.
Robby,
I mean, I don't know.
It's hard to look at Robby and his tweets and sort of decipher it. You almost need a translator to figure out what he's saying.
Yeah.
I don't think he's. I didn't read all the tweets, but I do know that he was talking some smack about the Jets and Sam Darnold. And look, I saw another tweet. I don't know if it might have been O'Leary that actually sent it out, but I saw something that was hey, Robby, look at all these drops that you had, and it's showing videos of balls just smacking him in the hands and the ball going flying out. It's dude, it's not all Sam's fault. Clearly, it's the offensive line. Clearly, it's partially on him. It's partially on Sam. I'm not saying Sam's not to blame. He certainly had some clean pockets where he just missed the throw, but. Look, I'm not holding any stock in Robby. I'm not losing any sleep over it.
No, I just find it funny that after reading it, he says #educate yourself. And sentences, I'm like, really, man? You got the gall to say something like that. But it's not a surprise. My brother works at a law firm, and his colleague there, who was a Temple with him, that's where he played.
Yeah.
It wasn't a shocker like how he was undrafted. I mean, he was talented, but when it came to the other things, like, I mean, let's just not forget he also, what he told a cop in Florida, I want to blank your mother or something like that. I remember that whole
Oh, yeah. He's like, I want a peanut in your wife's eye or something like that, I think was the exact term. Now, obviously, I'm being a little PG with that. But, yeah, I could – I don't want to say I stood behind Robby, but, like, he was ours, and, you know, the Jets got great value for him. Like, that, I was talking on one of my Jet forums the other day, and the way I put it was the Jets signed Robby. They got the better part of that deal. They didn't pay him a whole lot of money. They got great return on what they did pay him. Robby Anderson, in retrospect, was undrafted. The Jets did not have to sign him. They gave him the opportunity to play the way he did. He played well. He earned the contract he just got. The Jets gave him that opportunity. If the Jets did not sign him, there's no guarantee that another team would have signed him. From everything I've heard, Robby, I'm pretty sure he failed out of Temple. And I think it was for grades. I think that's why he missed some time with the team. So, I mean, even just from listening to him talk, it takes some brain power to, like, process everything he's saying.
I mean, I didn't think he was worth the money because, let's face it, the guy was like one screw up away from getting an indefinite suspension or whatever he was going to get after. Why would you invest money in that in the first place? I know he's talented, but I think we've already seen with instances of like Antonio Brown, no one's signed him yet. If he's so talented.
Yeah, look, Robby has a very unique skill set. He's a burner that goes over the top, that stays healthy. Will Fuller, Deshaun Jackson, a lot of these fast wide receivers wind up having hamstring problems. So the fact that Robby can stay as healthy as he is, like, I think Robby can play way better than what we saw out of him. And, you know, I don't think that's any fault of Sam's. I don't think it's any fault of Robby's. I just think that the Jets team was not built to be able to help Robby the way he should have been helped. I think I would have paid Robby $12 million a year. I would have been okay with like a 2-year, $24 million deal. I had originally guessed he was going to get 4 years, $48 million. It would have been $1 million a year more than Tyrell Williams got with Oakland last year. And that was a second wide receiver because they had just traded for Antonio Brown. So that would have been your number 2 receiver making $11 million a year, which is where I think Robby, probably falls. But I'm excited to watch Brashad Perriman play. I think he has a higher upside than Robby, but he's not consistent like Robby was. Like, I think you're going to get a guaranteed sort of, 800 to 1,000 yards out of Robby, where Perriman, who knows, maybe you get 400 yards because he's been injured or just, wasn't playing well. Or you could wind up seeing 1,500 yards and the guy just goes off. Like, you can sort of, there's really no middle ground with Perriman in my mind.
Yeah, well, I mean, Perriman has been injured. I mean, that's been his issues in the past. Not to mention, I've watched games and I've seen Robby get hurt. I mean, the guy's a chicken arm guy. I mean, you look how skinny he is. He hasn't, he really does. Like, he gets shots and he's been injured, like fumbles, like.
Sure.
I really can't agree with you that he's been healthy. I think, maybe he has played more games than what people see, but there's a lot of times he's left games and he doesn't return, and that really doesn't bode well for me to say that I would start giving him, a number 1 receiver, or even a number 2 base receiver. I think he went to Carolina because of Rule. I 100% agree with that. But the fact is that did they really need Robby Anderson? I mean, they should just trade Curtis Samuel. They really just said, listen, we don't like Curtis Samuel. We want Robby Anderson.
Sure.
Because they're not going to give up on DJ Moore. DJ Moore, yeah. And that kid Ian Thomas, by the way, if there is going to be fantasy football this year, he's going to be a sleeper tight end this year. I really, really like him. But
you think so? With Carolina? Yeah, I have not dug into the fantasy aspect yet because I'm just hoping we get football. I was just praying.
I'm the one in the group I've honestly said over and over again, I don't think there's going to be a season. I'm already kind of annoyed with this whole Major League Baseball announcement today saying, there's going to be all these games. I'm like, it's going to get shut down in a week. I'm already almost convinced it's going to happen, but whatever, let that happen. But anyway, so just my point with Robby Anderson is, listen, I'm glad he's gone. My brother, my good friend, we had a chat group like every week talking before a game, saying how much Robby Anderson was a joke. So I mean, that shows you how much we completely did not like him.
Sure.
But I look, it saves the money, and maybe I'm talking for next year. I go after Juju Smith-Schuster next year. I really think he's bring him back to Sam Darnold, reunite. You get Mims as the second guy. Perriman, I think he's going to be gone after a year. If he has a good year, I'm not paying him $17 million. Forget it. I'd rather let him just go to the Raiders and just get paid. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I think that's probably where I land on Perriman as well. I don't think he was brought in to be the long-term answer, but I do think they would be interested in retaining him on a second prove a deal. Like, hey, look, you did that 1 year. Now, if he wants, if he's looking for $15 million a year, if the Jets offered him 1 year, $15 million, just to kind of hey, let's just see how it goes, and then if you do it again, we'll give you the contract. I would be okay with that. I don't think Perriman's going to be here after next year. I think you're probably right. We have a lot of salary cap space, so maybe we work something. There's certain scenarios and formulas in the comp pick situation, so we could lose, in theory, Jordan Jenkins, Brian Poole, Brashad Perriman, Desir, all these guys that are on 1 year contracts, and we could, in theory, get compensation picks for them. And if we sign players that were cut from their team, that doesn't factor into the formula. But I would love to bring Juju in for Sam. I don't know. Is he a free agent I think he's a free agent at the end of the year.
Yeah. They've already had. There's Ed Bouchard, who's their longtime beat reporter, said that they already said him and Connor are going to be gone. They don't retain players like that, especially receivers. You've seen this. Antonio Holmes with us. They let Antonio Brown go for obvious reasons. They let Plaxico Burress go. So this is a trend for them. They're in a rotation now. Of course, without Big Ben, how are they going to look next year? That's going to be the big question. I think they're going to be in the race for that Fields and Lawrence situation. But just one more thing I just want to say, and this is just a general statement I want to make. You got to understand. People have to understand. You know what they're going to have to do to really make a season happen next year and this upcoming season? You're going to have to put these guys in a quarantine bubble for 5-6 months. Do you think these players' wives are going to be okay with them doing that?
No,
at some point, these families are going to step in and say, my husband is not going to be risking this, and then not to pass what's going to happen. Even if he somehow is put in this quarantine bubble, is he really going to even follow the rules when he's in that position? No.
Sure.
That's like putting him in a prison. We're not inmates here, man. So I just think that, and not to mention, even if they go to the playoffs, that's another month after that. They're not doing that. I'm sorry. It's not feasible.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of hope and praying that you're going to get an NFL season. My gut is telling me I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to start seeing, okay, we're going to delay the preseason. It's okay, now we're going to try and start the games. But then you're going to see, once they start training camp, I guarantee you're going to see one guy get it, then it's going to be 10 guys get it, then it's going to be 15 guys get it, and then it's just going to run rampant through the team. And then what are you going to do? You're going to trot out your backups against, opening day starters for another team like that? I don't know. I don't think they're going to risk injury. Football's such a dangerous sport to begin with. It would be very tough for me to as a player, at least as a top player. You'll see guys that want to get their shot. I could see an NFL season with replacement players almost. I just don't think. I think the logistics don't make sense. You're talking about 100 people just to have the players there. Then you got the coaches. You got the health staff. You got the media covering it. Even if they don't have the media down on the field, they're up in the press box. It's still, there's a lot of people. There's equipment guys. There's, the locker rooms. Everything's just kind of being shared, and I don't think there's any way that you could feasibly clean everything enough that you're just going to protect these guys from everything. They're going to go out. They're still going to go to the grocery store. Someone's going to get it somewhere along the line, and it's just going to rip through the team.
Yeah. And you know what? Listen, it's funny because Adam Silver, who everybody wanted to become the new GM of the league because people hated Goodell that much.
Yeah.
I think he's making a horrible mistake because he already saw this mistake that happened with Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert with the Jazz. And now this is happening again with the Jokic, with the Jokic, whatever the heck the guy's name from Denver. Now he got sick. It's Rob Manfred already screwed this up already. Goodell's on the way to doing it, and I just think Adam Silver's losing credibility. I'm just really upset that like we're pushing this so hard. This is not a joke. Like I can't say this enough at this point. This is not a joke, and I'm tired of watching the news, and I'm tired of watching all. I'm not trying to get political, but
that's all right.
We got to take this serious. We got to get serious with this. Like you know, it's fun to talk about sports. It's great to happen, but the reality here is that lives. These numbers are going up for a reason. Us, we live in New York, New Jersey. We did the hard work to make this happen. We cannot let the rest of the country deny this and say, okay, no, we can keep living our lives, and people get sick and sick and sick. Okay, the reason why people at the hospital, my friends at the hospital, they can't leave. They have to help people because they need to save lives. Football and sports, listen, these guys are going to get their money. Congratulations. You guys have $1 million in the bank. Be very happy with that. So anyway, I'm just very frustrated that like people on ESPN are saying, oh, it's still a go, it's still a go. Roger Goodell said it's a go. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. And I think it's a great story for MLB to post the schedule thing tonight and all that. But we got to get real here. Like, you know, people are sick and they're dying. Anyway, I'm not going to continue much more on that. But
all right, brother. I love you so much. Thank you so much. I'm ejecting you from the cockpit. Sorry. No, look, I love the conversation. And it's an intriguing topic. Everything that's going on with COVID is fascinating to me. And the logistics for an NFL season to work out are tough. The nice thing about it, if you're the NFL, and it's not even really nice, but you get to see the other leagues first and see how they handle it. If you can have golf, if you can have basketball, if you can have baseball, and you can start having these sports and they manage to keep it under control, then yeah, maybe you can have a football season. I'm very skeptical when you have that many people in one location that you won't have one person that potentially is like asymptomatic and could just spread it to like everyone. So it'll be interesting to see. All right, we are at 10:07. I said I'd give you an extra 10 minutes on the stream, so there it is. If you guys have not headed over to the Jets Discord down below in the link, let me know. We got a few. There's a few comments saying Chad Henne and Dak Prescott as the top quarterback. Wow, there were not many people that did this week. Ooh, very interesting. It's probably because I didn't promote it as much. But there were 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5 people entered. You had a 20% chance of winning the shirt, hat, or mug this year, and you guys didn't do it. That's all right. All right. Let's see. Let's do... Give me a number 1 through 5. That's what we'll do. Give number 1 through 5. And that is going to be who wins the hat, shirt, or mug. I'm going to pick the third number that pops up on the screen. That's how I'm going to do this. Let's see. There's a 2, there's a 4, and a 3. All right. 1, 2. All right. So the winner of the hat, shirt, or mug for tonight is going to be Elias Solomon. Elias Solomon, hit me up on the Jets Discord and message me. My name is blah, blah, blah. You should be able to find me on there. But message me on there. I'll get your information, and let's send you a hat, shirt, or mug from the store of your choice. And it's been fun. Guys, listen, I apologize for not getting on right at 8 o'clock, and I'm going to do this again next week. I'm still trying to figure out all the logistics for the Talking Jets panel. I'm going to probably try to make some changes to that, but I'll do something along the lines and hopefully get that out, say in August, but if we don't have preseason, maybe that stretches a little longer. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Got some big news from the well, I'll let you guys in on a little bit. Actually, no, not gonna. I'm gonna let it hang. Gonna let it float out there for a little bit. Possibly some good news coming the Jets Talk way. We'll kind of know in the next few weeks. Probably I'll say in about a month. I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but I got some potential good news for you guys. All right, guys, that's been it for me, and I have enjoyed our time together and all the phone calls and all the news, the Patrick Mahomes contract, the Jamal Adams news, the Robbie Anderson issues, all this good stuff. Thank you for flying with me. I'll be here next week. Multiples, he says, road to 10K subs, Ryan. Let's get it. Good stuff. 10K. Fingers crossed, boys. Thank you for being along for this flight. This is your pilot. Signing off. One more time. Put your tray tables in their upright and locked positions. J-E-T-A.